But the Texans, it was at times a little sluggish.
Yeah,
it was at times a little ugly. Joe Mixon got banged up by that hip drop tackle or not. We'll see what the league ultimately says of it. He had only 25 yards after over 100.
They couldn't run the ball like they did in week 1.
Yeah.
Right, exactly right.
So what do you see in the Houston offense that is good, and what do you see that they need to work on?
I think Houston's offense has got a little bit of everything. I really do. Now, has it been perfect to this point, and getting Diggs more involved in the offense, and Tank Dell I still think is probably not quite 100%, but I look at Houston, and especially with the way they ran the ball last week, and I think that most weeks they're going to continue to run the ball really good. Don't forget, that Bears defense I do think is one of the better defenses in football. It ended the year that way last year. Eberflus is really good, but I think their potential is limitless there in Houston, and hopefully Mixon's not too banged up with that ankle injury.
Nico Collins is the guy in the passing game. 10 targets, 8 catches, 135 yards, and a touchdown. You mentioned Tank Dell. He was targeted 4 times, 1 catch for -3 yards. Yeah. He had 3 carries for 16 yards. So he's still working his way in the right direction. Stephon Diggs, nobody expected him. Nobody who pays attention to football expected him to be the number 1 receiver.
Exactly right.
Except maybe him.
Yeah.
And that's going to be part of this process. As long as they're winning, he'll be fine.
Exactly.
The minute they're not winning, that's when great receivers get it twisted up in their heads.
No touchdowns.
That we would be winning if I was getting the ball more.
Exactly right. So
as long as you're winning, that short circuits the selfish loop that isn't selfish. It's confident, maybe delusional at times. It's the OBJ, like we're losing and I'm not getting the ball. If I got the ball more, we'd win.
Yeah.
And you can't prove me wrong because we're not winning. You only prove me wrong by winning when I'm not getting the ball as much as I'd like to get the ball.
They'll figure it out. They'll figure it out with him. They got a lot of guys that can catch the ball and be dangerous, and they just got to figure out their formula and what's going to work for them. But as I said, I think for their offense, that's one of the tougher teams they'll play.
9 guys,
year.
9 different guys caught.
Yeah, right. So they'll get that a little bit, hunkered down there. Maybe not 9 guys, and start to focus on 3-4 guys that they like more than anything in that offense.
Smart for them to get Cam Akers, though. If Joe Mixon's going to miss any time, he had 7 carries for 32 yards last night after Mixon got injured, and they may need him if Mixon ends up missing any time at all. Here's both DeMeco Ryans, head coach of the Texans, and quarterback C.J. Stroud on what ultimately was an ugly win for the 2-0 Texans.
It's just about winning, right? 1 week at a time and they're not always going to be pretty, but you just have to find a way to win, and that's what I'm most proud about with our guys. Like, no matter what happened there at the end, we found a way to win. With all the penalties, all of the negative plays, like, we were able to gut out a win, and that's what this league is about.
I'm happy. Of course, I'm not satisfied. I'll never be satisfied. There's always things that you can point out. We're not going to let one half of football make us put our head down. We're going to stay confident. We're going to stay taking shots. We're going to stay, betting on us. So I definitely, understand, we need to be better. But, like you said, winning is number 1. So we won, and now it's time to move on and get better.
One of the things that Coach Garrett does, he's not overtly negative. He just kind of raises questions.
Yeah.
And one of the questions he's had this year, will the Texans have a step back because teams have had a full offseason to study
them, right.
what they're doing, to study C.J. Stroud? And that's what makes next week's game a little more fascinating. What has Brian Flores cooked up for C.J. Stroud based upon a full season of play and an offseason to study? And since May, they've known that week 3, C.J. Stroud and the Texans are going to roll into town.
It's going to be an interesting little psychological battle there, because Flores, it's going to be, I'm playing the same offense to a degree, right? It's Bobby Slowick, who learned from Shanahan. He's not Shanahan, but he's damn close to it. So there's going to be some things there where he's going to go, this is carryover from last week. We can have some rules. But at the same time, Bobby Slowick's going to be able to watch film and go, they did this to Shanahan when he got in some of these formations and what he wanted to do, and I want to do those. And he'll have an idea of what maybe Flores is doing game planning there. So I'm interested in that little coaching matchup there. These are two of the better coach teams in all of football, Houston and Minnesota.
This is a rare Monday show. Actually, a rare show for any day where we're ahead of schedule.
Whoa.
We're ahead of budget. We
got
some
lots
money
of
in the
games
bank.
to hit.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.